Hello everybody, John Kolensik, Matrix Impact. Welcome back to the series, How to Run a Successful Sales Blitz. Today we're going to be talking about the kickoff meeting and the meeting of the morning, okay, the meeting that gets them started before they go out the door in the morning. And we're going to talk about some of the pieces that happens at the meeting, how we run it, and most importantly, what you have to make sure happens in those meetings to make sure they're successful during the day. All right, so let's get started. So what you see on your screen here is a video. I like to use a video clip to get people pumped up, to get them excited. This particular video is from the movie The Social Network, talking about what's cool. And in this clip, the guy says, what's cool? Billions of dollars. I try and get across to everybody that the idea of the Blitz is to blow open their sales funnel. If they run this Blitz right, they're going to create a new normal, that their numbers are going to be higher than they ever were before. Why? Because they're going to be touching everything and talking to everybody. And this particular video kind of harps on that particular subject in a really cute and funny way. Then we kind of get into the beef of stuff. What is the philosophy of this particular Blitz? This Blitz is about selling it all. All projects, all problems, all the time. If they don't want this, we're going to talk to them about that. If they don't want that, we're going to talk to them about this. You name it, that's what we're going to talk to them about today. Everything. We cover the itinerary and pairings, okay? If you remember from an earlier video, I showed you the document that showed how everybody was lined up for each day, what territory they're going to be, what day they're going to be with what person, how those might change and slip up from day to day. And then I showed this, the territory books. That's where you hand those out. You guys, again, saw that in a previous video. The territory books are the books that have the things like the itinerary pairings and some of the other information that they need, the maps and all that type of thing. And we give them a chance to go through it for the first time, ask questions, make sure they're comfortable with it. GPS, iPads, and laptops, we talk about the mini research. This is one of my favorite parts. I dare them to stump me on a business. They give me a business, and I have to look up that business and get as much information as I can in 30 seconds. And the amount of information I'm able to get to them in 30 seconds, it amazes them. The eyes get wide open, and I show them how fast that they can find that information if they're going to the right websites, if they're searching for the right stuff, to make sure that they have everything that they need when they're out there talking to a potential customer to take advantage of the opportunity when they're out there. Hub coordination, again, we touched on this earlier in one of the earlier videos. This is about making sure you know who your quarterback is in-house, who the person is that you're coordinating with at the hub that will be helping you with quotes, running supplies out to you in the field, taking care of problems, tracking down information for you. If the hub is not in tune and coordinated with the people in the field, the whole Blitz will suffer. Phone numbers, we make sure everybody has everybody else's phone number. Why? You never know when a person on another team might be able to help you out on the sale that you're on. One particular Blitz we were on, the vice president of sales was on the Blitz with us, and we had gotten, me and another gentleman gotten a chance to meet with the president of the company, and the president wanted to meet with the highest up that he could. Well, we were like, well, we got the vice president of sales, and would you like to meet with him? He goes, absolutely. We had his phone number, picked him up, called him. The vice president called the president. They scheduled a lunch, and because they had that meeting right then and there, we were able to take advantage of the opportunity and strike while the iron was hot and close a nice-sized deal before we even walked out the door. It was a wonderful, wonderful example of making sure you have the right information in front of you and taking advantage of your opportunities. Product-specific info and competition. Now we kind of open it up to the vendors and also to the local folks to make sure that they're covering all the information we need to know, whether it be product that the vendor's bringing in, anything specific about the product, anything specific about competition they're going to be dealing with, or what some things that might come up when they're in the field and what do they need to know about. And as you can probably imagine, you come up with a pretty decent list of things that they have to go over. That's why it's important to have the morning meeting, okay? The morning meeting where we coordinate before they get out the door. So after we go through this, we come up with this list of different things. Everybody goes off to dinner. We all go to dinner as a group, and as soon as dinner's over, we tell everybody to be back at the branch at 7 o'clock, and we're going to go over the list again to make sure everybody's on the same page before we get started. So there we are, boom, 7 o'clock in the morning, and here we are. Okay, what was the philosophy? Sell it all projects, all problems. We start talking about, you know, who's responsible for what, the backup or the secondary. The person who's not knocking on the door saying, hi, my name is, they're responsible for writing notes. Okay, then you have the driver, the navigator. The driver, that's self-explanatory. The navigator is the person sitting in the other seat doing the mini research, making sure they're going to the right spots, getting the information they need before they walk in the door. A couple quick reminders. If you can't get in, get as many names, titles, and functions, as much info as you can, so the people following up on these leads that you're coming up with will know who to talk to. Grease the gatekeepers. Remember we talked about in one of the previous videos, we showed you what the box looks like, that they have the car stock blend, and you had the hats and the mugs and all those types of things. Grease the gatekeepers. They love the mugs, and if you treat them as well as you do to a contact, they are key. They're going to get you in the door. You give them that nice mug, that nice hat. They're going to make sure that your name, your card, your information gets to the right people, even if that person isn't available that day. Then we start getting into some of the information that came up at the very end that we had to compile. And we want to make sure we cover it again with them and reiterate it. In this case, small moms and pops buying rigging from their crane provider. Lots of homemade stuff. Don't rule out small buildings and don't underestimate large buildings. If I had a nickel for every time somebody said, "Oh, I'm not going to go on that. No, that doesn't look like my kind of building," I'd be a trillionaire. You don't know until you knock on the door. Knock on the door and find out. Ask the question. You don't know what kind of opportunities behind the door until you knock. Never, ever, ever assume. When are you doing your inspections? Another one of those lists that came up at the end of last night. Now is the perfect time. That's a training technique. We're going to talk about that in another video. We fix our own cranes, sell them rigging. Maintenance groups have shrunk, monthly inspections, and then this particular thing, ASME B30, that's a regulation that we want to make sure that they're all very aware of. Why do we cover this information, and why is it so repetitive? Because we can't assume that everybody's going to digest and have all the information all the time. We've got to make sure we keep covering it, that they remember it, and we drive it home with them. So anytime they're in front of a customer, if they have the opportunity, they have the right information, it's going to help them close the deal right then and there. Okay, that's all we're going to cover today. When we get together next time, we're going to be talking about the wrap-up meetings and summary meetings that happen, at the end of the day and then at the end of the blitz, and what goes on in those meetings. But in the meantime, you can always reach out to me. Give me a phone call, 216-347-6729 if you got any questions. And you know what I always like to say, you can either make sales or make excuses, but you can't do both. Until next time, I'm out of here.